Oh, happy Friday, December. Oh, it's Friday the 13th today, Tracker. Oh my goodness, what's going on?
Oh, I love it. I'm not superstitious. I'm not afraid. Bring it on. We already have the support. I think it might
Yeah,
be. I don't want to jinx it, but it might be a green day today.
Green Day.
Or it's Friday, everything just goes sideways because Mr. Market's already figured out exactly where he wants everything to for max payment options. Depends on what you're looking at, I suppose. That said, let's take a look around.
Yeah, take a look around. We can start with the indices. Everybody's worried about CLSK. And yeah, I was buying CLSK at the lows yesterday, but I want to buy more at the lows today if they do come. So we'll talk about that. I'll talk about some miners.
CLSK hilarious. Oh, there's a funny fiddling sound going on from your end, by the way.
Fiddling? Well,
Yeah, it sounds
I
like
was
like
typing.
fiddling.
I was
Oh,
typing.
that's what it is. Hilarious.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll just start with the indices here,
Yeah,
and
start with indices.
day over day, we can see that there's really it's just been flat kind of this whole week. It started up on Monday, high to low to high to low. So basically, it's just done nothing. So we'll see where it closes today. So the goal to close above today is 605.60 for the SPY, just to stay on top of the daily conversion line.
It's a
And the
great goal.
QQQ, yeah, it's a good goal. QQQ is gapping up a little bit. So will it continue all the way to the 548, the 1.618? Let's find out. But very bullish chart still. It looks like with that AVGO news, lots of the other semis are doing well this morning too. So it could be a good QQQ morning unless it gets sold off in the morning. We'll find out. But support still sits all the way down here with the conversion line at 520. So it is getting a little bit extended. And then with the IWM, it's just frustrating everybody because it's all these red days in a row. Oh my God, so scary. But it's just doing nothing, right? After getting rejected at resistance, it's going back to test support. And now it's really close to support, especially with the linear scale, 235, the log scale, 233. So it doesn't matter which zone it really closes in, linear scale or log scale. It's all the same zone to me. So 235.02, 233.20, it's all the same for me.
Yeah, really, you're 886, and it just stayed there.
Yeah. Well, on log, yes.
That's the 100.
On linear, it's a little bit below the 886 right now. But either way, it doesn't make a difference to me. Log, linear, it's all the same. It's the same zone. Same zone.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I guess I can jump into CLSK just to talk about that real quick.
Alleviate the fears.
Alleviate the fears.
Yeah.
Yeah, AMD is up too, by the way. Yeah, 132. CLSK. So pre-market, they had dilution, I guess, last night, offering, whatever you want to call it. I think it's fine. I think it's really fine. And no matter what, this is still a zone, right? And you can see all these wicks in the previous wick, it's still within the same zone. And what it's doing right now is the Bollinger Band, 20-week moving average right now. And we can see that with this chart here. That is at 1174, right? So after it broke out above the 20-period moving average of the Bollinger Band, it never touched it once. But guess what? I guess it's going to do it today. So if it does it today, then this has a good opportunity of confirming it as support. So I'm not too worried about it. It's still a bullish formation. Things are just finding a new higher low. That's what it's been doing ever since the bottom here, right? It went up, found a new higher low, went up, found a new higher low, went up. Now it's finding a new higher low from here. So that's just part of the process of becoming more and more bullish, but people have no patience at all. But this is still a beautiful chart.
I just wanted to really quickly look at. I want to see if maybe CleanSpark was doing a Me Too, like MicroStrategy did a share offering to get more money to buy more Bitcoin, and Mara
No, I think they're doing debt restructuring or something.
Exactly. So then I looked it up and I see that CleanSpark actually, they're going to use it for share repurchasing and paying down obligations.
So that's actually not a bad thing at all. And
it's not a bad thing.
No, it's
I've got a CleanSpark chart I can show you guys.
Yeah. Well, you got to share your screen first.
Oh no, that's right. I changed links. Here we go. There we go. So basically, degree chart. I went way back here to this low right here. In fact, I didn't even go like to the farther back low. This is just a more recent 1, 2 right here. So from $1.74 in 2023 to about $24.71, and then it came back down here for. So this is the largest degree wave 1, and wave down here for 802. So a nice improvement from $1.74, and it spiked up to one hallelujah, and then ever since then it's just been making more lows after that, but compared to where my wave 2 started, they're only higher lows. So CleanSpark is well on its way to my wave 3 sub wave 1 target of 25.57. So it's this price never goes in a nice straight line like this. It's going to do this and this and that, do some of this and this and that, and then it'll do that. So, just have patience, like Matt says, and you will be rewarded. Patience. If you don't sell there and you just hold through all that, oh no, it keeps going. It just keeps going up. So it's this chart on my chart, on Kat's chart. Kat, no fewer than 14 posts about how bullish he is on CleanSpark and how he's buying it up. So.
Yeah, he's spamming X about.
Yes, I've got to buy some CleanSpark too now because I followed him on 2 other calls.
Yeah,
the one on Tiger TIGR has really held up, and the GME.
Yeah, and
either.
Yeah, anything below $12. I didn't think I would see below $12, but this offering. Just got it back down to that 20-period moving average on the weekly chart. So it could be going down there, maybe wicking below, maybe 1150 could be the target. So I do appreciate some cheaper CleanSpark always.
Yeah. Being feels terrible to be down 36%. But if you had got it down here, then you were up 129% first before you went down 47%. Or 40%. Don't worry, if you're in the red, just buy some more and dollar cost average down if you can.
Yep.
All right, that's CleanSpark.
All right, let's go to the Tesla. People think it's over. Is it game over for Tesla? Is it?
Oh, no,
my God!
They made a new high and announced they're just done. Now it's going to go sideways for 6 more years.
So I have the previous all-time high here on my chart at the 415.50, and I was expecting a back test yesterday of it, but it never really came, right? It never really came. So that is, what did it get to yesterday? It got to 415, not 414.50. So it came a little bit short of the back test, and it bounced. And I think what we're really seeing is on the daily Bollinger Band, it just is riding it as support still, and that's 418.82. So that kind of held, right? It did close a little bit below it, but we're seeing a little bit gap up above right now, so it's getting back above it as support. And on the weekly Bollinger Band, it's 396, and it's still riding it as support all the way up too. So the people that are screaming it's going to collapse again or go back below 400, well, I always say it has to prove it to me first. And right now, it still wants to hold this upper Bollinger Band as support, right? I mean, yes, it is 396, but that's going to change today. It changes all the time. So as price moves up and down, it changes. So this is still a very, very powerful, very strong momentum play. And as long as it keeps riding the Bollinger Band and it hasn't even back tested the previous all-time high yet. Like saying it's going below 400 just shouldn't be said yet until it starts to maybe close daily candles back under 1450 or starts to close underneath the weekly Bollinger Band as well.
Hey Matt, before you change screens, would you mind putting on a moving average 75? It's a simple moving average 75. I'm sorry, he's got to custom pull it up. You know what? Show my screen while you do that.
Here it is. It's 229.20 for the weekly.
It's so far down. Never mind. It's not even going to show up on your time scale. What I'm thinking about. But on a much shorter time scale, I would imagine that if Tesla was going to ever come back and retest the 1450, it would, the previous all-time high for 1450, it would actually run for a little bit and then lose some momentum, come back, test it to gain some momentum, and then go up again. So I would say it's probably run it before it ever even thinks about doing that. Halfway to 500, it might get to almost 450 before it says, let's just test back real quick and see. Let's just check and see if that is support, or if there's some leverage liquidity we can grab real quick out of the people who are.
And I think this chart
on March.
I think this chart is kind of telling a story right here too. When I do the trend-based fib for Tesla, not this one. Yeah. This is log scale or linear scale. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. But yes, so from the low here to the high to pull it down, like we do have 458.30 whatever right there, right? The 1.618.
Yeah.
So I think price could gravitate up to that pretty easily before any kind of retrace. Yeah.
I like that idea. I'm going with that idea as well. So 458 and some pennies there.
Yeah.
For the 1618.
And I think it works pretty well because it did stop out at the 1 level on that trend base, right? It did back test it a couple of weeks in a row before taking off. And it's been following all these retrace levels pretty nicely for this trend base fib. So I think 458, 460 could be the next target before major retrace, but we'll see. We'll see if the back test wants to happen at the previous all-time high, and if that continues to hold, then I think higher it goes.
Yeah, I think people will be surprised at just the velocity that this starts to move on. It's like a giant
Palantir
train. Yeah, exactly. It's like Palantir. Once it gets this momentum going, like from day to day, it looks like it goes up and down and up and down, but like week to week, it's just screaming higher.
Yeah, and people that want to scream it's going lower after all-time highs, like fresh, brand new all-time highs, it usually keeps going. It doesn't just stop and reverse.
It's too early. It's too early for it to test back that. And I'll show my screen. I'll just show you on the short time scale. I'm just bullish hither and thither and everywhere. I just posted this for everyone to see publicly. Tesla, oh Tesla, how bullish are thee? Let me count the ways. All right here. Price is above the Ichimoku cloud conversion line in blue. That's above. Well, right now, it's just a bit below the brown line, which isn't as bullish. And I look back over here, and it's going to struggle a little bit because the lagging span is now price is over it. So, a little bit of turbulence could be ahead here. But intraday, oh no, I'll come up to that one. The Ichimoku cloud's printing green. That's bullish. We've got some buy blocks way back here where people are hoping to catch it, but it's not. They're going to catch it. Sell blocks above, which means price can just keep running and discovering. Price is above my moving average 75. That's bullish. And the MCDX plus the indicator that tracks bankers and whales, institutional buyers in red versus retail in green, and anything over 50% in red is very bullish, and under 10% in green, we're at 5%, so that's definitely falls in that category. If you're trading intraday today, just use this chart that I posted publicly and look at all the ones with the D's in front of them. So here's the daily pivot right here at 421.47. So, and you can see there's already like a test back to it here in pre-market. We've got about, anyway, yeah. In pre-market, it tested back to the daily pivot once already. If it falls below, then yeah, it could hang around this Ichimoku cloud a little bit. But I wouldn't be surprised for it to just start running the R ones, the resistances above. So 427.93 is like your next one to test up here, then 435.99, etc. So anyway, you guys have all this. It's in your X inbox if you follow me. And here's the monthly pivot all month long, 439.63. We're already above the monthly R1, and yeah, it didn't even go. It didn't even look back once we got over it. I mean, well, actually, that's not true because we got over it. It tested back to the. It kept going. Ramp. It just did a God candle over it and kept going. So short term, super bullish. Longer term, super bullish. That's all I got to say about Tesla. Matt's got the price target for that 1618 log scale where it could potentially hit its first resistance near 458, and it could just be clear sailing on up. Intraday, it's going to look weird, but you know, you look at the weekly and it just keeps going. All right, that's my Tesla.
All right. Let's switch gears to MicroStrategy and maybe crypto after that. I see a lot of requests for crypto in there. So MicroStrategy, see, this is an example of a weekly chart losing some momentum from the Bollinger Band, right? It was riding it as support for a while, and now it's kind of like the top of the band is a little bit of a resistance at 430. But it's not really that big of a deal because things like this happen all the time. And when we put on the Ichimoku for the weekly chart, it's still holding its conversion line weekly support, 364.41. And we can put on the daily chart and we can see that it's still trying to hold the daily baseline as support as well. It's 398 pre-market and the baseline is 392. So this is just ranging. Perhaps all it's doing is maybe buying enough time to get closer to the cloud on the daily chart before trying to go higher.
Indeed, I think you called that really accurately. You can already see it had that wick down. It already tested that lower, the horizontal line, 1418. You know, we haven't made a lower low since.
Yeah, it already wicked through it, so it's good to go.
Yeah, we're just getting higher lows, even with it seemingly the tops aren't getting as high, but the bottoms aren't getting any lower either. It's just squeezing into a range and beyond which it just will pop out the top. And in fact, if I show my chart, I can draw that for you. You've got these declining, I do it as a triangle, right? You've got a trend line that is a resistance line that's sloping down, and a support line that's sloping up. And I almost wanted to say it like had popped out of this and it's ready to leap off from there, but sideways for a while. And it can just keep pushing this out for a while. And it could even make a slightly lower low than this trend. But eventually this triangle is bullish and it will top of this triangle in time. And just, for comparison, remember when MicroStrategy got all the sentiment momentum and pushed it up to its all-time high of 548.20, Bitcoin was just about to touch 100,000, but didn't get there yet. Then we got above 100,000, and how is it lower? It doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. It's just a compression of price, and once we get out of this, we'll see 50. So that's my next target. This larger chart now. This was my wave 5. I thought it was going to be wave 3 and then a 4 and then a 5, and I got this is a wave 5, and then I did an ABC on this much larger degree wave sub 1 of 3. So beginning of time, wave 1, wave 2. Now we're going to wave 3, sub 1, sub 2. All of wave 3 takes us to over 1,000. Wave 4 pullback of 870. $1,677, and the cycle takes us to $1,622 in MicroStrategy. From where now 305% to my wave 5 top. And I already put like over here, people who are like worried that MicroStrategy is going to crap the bed. The linchpin's right here. This 338.67, as long as it holds the F2 bottom, everything that I made of this will come true. If it should go a little lower, then the only way anything would break down, like price would have to come all the way back lower than 212, which was not going to happen.
And it looks like it already got to the top of the triangle there too, right?
Yeah. For this little triangle, I kind of feel like it did a little. It already did the little test if I move this to this one right there. But no, about it again. And I love talking about my moving average 75 here on the 4-hour chart and prices, just because, and I'll show you again why. The 50 and the 100, excuse me. In this case, when price is running up in a bullish trend, which it is, the slow line is usually left behind. That's the 100 moving average. And the fast line is kind of following, which when it's been running like this, the moving average 50 is above the 100. Whenever the bears the fear starts to take over, then cross through the 75 to get to the 100. Though in this case, we've already kind of got over the 50 again. But anyway, I just love the moving average 75 is like it's the battleground. Those who think it'll go lower, those who think it'll go higher, between fear and greed. And in fact, if you turn on Ichimoku Cloud on basically any time scale, it really feels like the moving average 75 does a great job following the Ichimoku Cloud. And so I just really like that moving average 75 on just every single time scale. I'm just pulling up random time scales here. Or maybe as it gets much bigger, they have to move much slower, so it doesn't really look that way down here. Yeah, any time scale, it's a nice. It tracks the Ichimoku Cloud really well. So even if you're using some kind of platform that doesn't support Ichimoku Clouds, but you can do a moving average, put the moving average above it is bullish, and below it is just like, oh, it's a little bit of trouble. I think I went on long enough about that.
Yeah. I see some other requests for miners and BitU. So I'll do BitU real quick. And there's no change. It's just stuck in between the 1.272 and the 1.414. So we can see that 55.11 held as support, and the resistance got rejected up there at 63.13. So no change. And right now it's right in the daily conversion line, 57.71. So this is just showing how stuck Bitcoin and its ETFs are right now. Nothing bearish, nothing bullish. It's just very, very neutral right now before a possibility to break through resistance. So with that said, I see a iron request to. And iron, yeah, it's also no change with this one, except it's still just trying to range around the 786. So it did close above it for like a month, and then for the past 3 weeks, it's been below the 786. So that 1388 is looking like some resistance right now, but it's also still in a range. And when you look at this chart, it's just a big breakout, a big rejection, and now it's trying to find a higher low, build a base at a higher level, and we can see that it is just staying in a range, right? Just staying for the past 3 weeks, same kind of range. But once it starts closing above 1388 again, I think it'll have some momentum back again. So none of these miners are really bearish.
They made a cool little TIE fighter there on your chart. Little TIE fighter, those 3 lines.
Oh yeah, right here. Yeah.
I'll show my render chart when you're done.
I mean, all the miners, they kind of look the same. Like some are more bullish than the others, but I think no matter what, they're all building a base at a higher level. So yeah, here's your.
Yep. And if you look back here, this is like the last time I talked about Iran. I drew this. I looked. Oh, look, there's a bullish W right here. And what it do? It makes this W, and it comes back a little bit, and then it just starts to run up. And it did. It kind of wicked, then it ran for a little bit, and then it came back down again. But it's still, the sentiment is the same. It just wants to keep making higher highs and higher lows, and it is doing great. I haven't moved. I haven't touched this in a while, and it looks like this trend going up to my wave 5 top here is right on target. So maybe in about, let's see, grab this thing. You are here, and I think we're going there. So 46% increase in 102 days. If this is right, I think I could actually tighten this up a little bit, and maybe we'll get there in less than 102 days. Just want to kind of see it. I'm kind of following the moving average 75, featuring this touch here. I could bring it even closer and catch these two touches here. My same price target is 1956 next. 1956 next. So, maybe we'll get actually sooner, because as price gets closer and closer, it starts to melt up. 46 days. Maybe we'll get that. So 1956 is my target. I've just hidden it behind here. And after that, we'll get, here, I'll just do a quick, from 1956, testing back to the wave 2. This is where Elliott fall into these traps where they think that typically a good bullish retracement of the whole move. I just take it back to this wave 2 bottom here, and I need to make it not extend the whole way so you guys can see it. That's good enough. And then it'll just do an ABC, something like 382, 236, 618. Feels awfully deep. It may not be that deep, much more bullish. And instead of retracing all the way back to the wave 2 down here, maybe let's go to the wave 4 right here. And then it gives us a retrace to like 1119. It's nicer. But whatever we get, could make, if this gets makes a nice deep run down here, then all this just becomes wave 1, wave 2, and it builds even larger. Sometimes, I don't want to jinx it, but sometimes, see how this one was a diagonal because the wave 4 came lower than my wave 1. This, in fact, maybe I should redraw this chart. Maybe this is my new wave 1. You have to be flexible as an Elliottician. You really have to be flexible of mind. Maybe this is wave 1 and wave 2. Wave 3 sub 1, wave 3 sub 2, and I should be targeting something even bigger for IRM. I think I'll have that for you guys next time. I won't waste your time on this right now. But from here, it's going higher. I still see 1956 next, no matter what I come up with after this.
All right. I see a question here, right here. Do you guys think it's better to accumulate and hold or actively trade in and out of miners like CLSK? I think, yeah, it's pretty good to buy some support ranges and good to sell some resistance for all the miners. But some of them like to break through levels both ways. So it just depends on your goal, really. If you're just looking to go for a quick profit, or you see the long-term opportunity of holding through all this volatility for the greater good, right? It just depends on what your goal is. But in and out works pretty well with miners, but also accumulating and the high time frame support zones is also a good opportunity. Like, for example, here, every time you bought some support in iron here, like in the support zone here at the 702, right, you've done pretty well, right? If you just bought this 618 for a long time at 794, you've done well, right? And then if you bought more on the next support, you could just keep buying on support and you would be doing very, very well. But the people that try to time it, or the people that get excited, oh, it's that resistance, I got to buy because it's going to break resistance. No, that's not what you got to do. Just buy the support zones and then you'll do well over time. So I think it's all about perspective. And a lot of people that are disappointed in the miners is because they got too excited too soon. too excited too soon is the easiest way to get trapped. It's the easiest way to lose money in the markets, and it's the easiest way to get shaken out, right? Because then price does nothing for a month or two, and people just start to freak out and lose their patience, and then they capitulate. And then after they capitulate is when things usually go up. So I think we're just waiting on some of you guys to capitulate before miners go up. So yeah, go ahead. No,
No, not you
Just
guys.
you.
We love you guys.
yeah,
You do the smart thing, and we'll
do this one.
do the other thing.
BTDR, BitDeer, resistance, guys. See, this is what I'm talking about. People get super exuberant, super excited with BitDeer, but it's at the 1.272. It's at 23. It actually wicked above yesterday, and now it closed below. So, yeah, this is not where you want to get excited. But you could get excited when it was like consolidating here, like retesting the 786 over and over and over again. You could get excited there because then you enjoy the nice move higher, right? But then it's up here. People want to get excited and buy, but that's the wrong time to do it. And this is how people get trapped because it can easily go back down to 18 or 16 or even 14. So if it did that, that would be an awesome opportunity for the continuation higher, not up here, down here. So I always preach this to my Telegram, my Patreon, all the time because this is a common mistake. People love the excitement. And actually, the time I get the most chart requests is when something is breaking out. And that is like the wrong time to be looking at a stock is when it's breaking out because you've already missed the move, right? You've already missed the move. So I think it's just all about perspective. That's all.
Indeed. Days.
Yeah, I like the red.
Gets really excited about buying stuff on red days.
I like the red days. Let me switch to some crypto real quick just to get these guys in here. Some Pepe.
Let's see your PP.
So Pepe, what I can show you with Pepe here is that it's bullish, right? It's a bullish chart. It's basically still right in the conversion and the baseline, and it is breaking out into highs, right? So this is a bullish development. We can even pull up a little bit of a fib here just to see where things are going. And yeah, it's right in between the 1.414 and the 1.272. So you can see it's just kind of trapped there in between. So the goal is get above this 2698 for the continuation to the 3364. So there we go. Pepe bullish, but it's stuck.
I have a vivid recollection of a few weeks ago, you telling all your Patreon members that you were buying that 100% fib when it dipped back down to that 100% fib.
Yeah, I did tell him, but when I bought Pepe though, it was right when it was touching the cloud, like right down here, maybe a little bit like the 1011, like that. This zone right here is when I started buying more Pepe. And yeah,
maybe
like that's when you want to. Yeah, that's when you want to do it. And now it's already up over 100%. So it's a good trade, very good trade.
Yes.
But yeah, it's all about timing the market. Sometimes, like not like timing the exact top and bottom, but timing when to enter and when to exit. So it's always good to enter around support in a bullish chart, and when it's up in a resistance zone, maybe be a little bit more cautious. That's all. And I see a DAG request. Everybody loves the DAG, but it's stuck. There's really nothing to report back on DAG because it's stuck under the 200. People think that support and resistance changes throughout the week, but if a price doesn't do anything, no, it doesn't change at all. The resistance is still 0.083, the 200-week moving average, and the support is still your 067617. That's it. I see a Corium there too. Corium, US dollar, Bitstamp. I don't even have this one, do I? Yeah, I can't really. I don't know. Corium.
I see several requests for Velo. It must be a coin because I can't find it.
Yeah, Velo's a coin. Yeah, I'll do that one. But here's Corium on the daily. So Corium on the daily is a loss of momentum. It's underneath the baseline and the conversion line, so I think it could just gravitate a little bit lower, maybe to the 17-cent zone. And yeah, I'll do one more Velo, then I'll let you.
They say Velo is running right now.
Yeah, Velo, it broke out, right? It broke out, and this is what I mean. People want to see chart requests all the time when things break out, all the time, and never when they're really at support. They're just like, who cares? only when they broke out. But it was running. Let me go to the weekly chart. Yeah, see, the opportunity was when it really backtested the 50, and I was actually talking about this on my Patreon that it was going to go probably touch that before taking off. So that was really the awesome opportunity right down there at the 0125. And now what price is doing is actually breaking out, and it's backtesting this angle, and it's kind of backtesting this previous high over here too. So yeah, it is doing very, very well. And I think this could be a successful backtest. So that opportunity down there at the 224 could be good for a continuation into the 4-cent zone. Right.
Very cool.
All right. And go ahead, Tracker. What do you see that's of interest? We'll do like maybe one more since before I got to go.
Let's just do a DXYZ again because it's kind of falling into a wider move. It's not an extended flat. It's not making a new lower low or anything. But on my DXYZ chart, you can see that the wave 2 is very short. So the Elliottician theory of alternation says, well, that means the wave 4 is going to be a lot longer. And that's what we're getting right here. After it made that really lovely high up here at $76, I'm sorry, $77.25. No, it was $76.08. And then a quick wave 4 correction down here to, what did it do? It touched my moving average 75 right here. Boom, that orange line right there. About $50.91. Actually, it didn't even quite, no, it did touch it right there. And then it came right back up to underneath the Ichimoku baseline as resistance, tested back, it stayed in the cloud really nicely here, but eventually built a base on top of the moving average 50 and its conversion line and rode the conversion line out of trouble. And even now, it stayed above the conversion line until just Thursday. So just this morning. I'm sorry, last night in after hours. And now it's just doing a quick run back to test out this moving average 50 again on the top of this cloud. Maybe it'll even touch my moving average 75 at about $66.73, and then probably just run back up again. But don't worry about this. This is the wave 4. It's already climbing out of it. It already made a higher high than the wave 3 top. It did it twice, and then came back down to tech for support. The next time it goes up, I think it will break out. And DXYZ, I think it's going to hit $114.54. Maybe even, it's got so much momentum, it might actually go into this entire, it might not stop until somewhere in this gray box. And so from where price is right now, that's going to give us somewhere between 67 and an 89% gain over maybe next week. I mean, it's possible it could hit just in 5 days in the next week or two. So anyway, that's what my DXYZ, at least 114.54, and it could possibly extend a little higher. Then after that, it should get an ABC correction down, and then wherever it stops, it'll just become like a larger wave 1 and 2, and it'll just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Just like those rockets that Elon keeps designing and setting up. They just keep getting bigger. And with that, Matt, your final word?
Yeah. Final word is be patient with markets, be patient with miners. Bitcoin is still just in a range. There's no need to get excited when it gets back to 102, 103. Really, 103,600 has to break to get me more excited. So yeah, everything's in a range until it's not. So therefore, be patient, right? And until then, accumulate the support, and I think you can be rewarded.
Yep, indeed. And apologies if we didn't get to your request today, but you can see all my charts. All my charts are in the spreadsheet tool that it goes with my subscription on X for $2 a month. And Matt's got all of his charts available in his Patreon, plus live updates in his Telegram if you subscribe to him.
Yep. All right, guys.
And well, happy weekend, everybody. Happy Friday the 13th. Yeah. Don't be so superstitious. The day is what you make of it.
Yeah, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, indeed. All right, thanks, Matt.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.